Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today I'm going to be working on several trees. I'm going to start with my Wisteria. It's growing really tall and I want to prune it to kind of equalize the balance of vigor in the branches. Here is a look at the Wisteria. So I repotted it this spring and did more root pruning to improve the radial root base. I've got it in a tray of water here. That seems to help. And all the branches have, got new foliage on them. Some of the lower ones are quite weak. The foliage is only extended a little bit. Whereas the upper ones, they've just grown really tall. You can see them up here. They're almost reaching the roof of the greenhouse. So what I'm going to do today is kind of balance the vigor of the tree. So I'll prune these long, vigorous upper shoots back. I'll leave the lower ones alone to kind of grow and equalize, so I get kind of a nice branch structure, so I don't have one trunk line or two trunk lines taking off. I want to grow it kind of out equally in a kind of a broom style canopy. When I'm pruning the tree, I'm always looking for leaves that are fanning outwards and pruning just above that, so the new branch will kind of, instead of growing vertical, it'll start spreading out. And eventually I'll get kind of a nice umbrella canopy. All right, here I go with the pruning. So I'm going to start with this vigorous branch here. It's very long. So I'm looking for leaves that fan outwards. And I think this is a good one. This is a good one above it. So I think I'll prune just above these two leaves. So here I go. And I'll leave a bit of a stub for dieback. Taking that whole top of the vine off, and then I've got another branch here that's very vigorous. I've got a good branch here, or leaf here, that's fanning out. I have another one up higher, so I think I'll take it off above here like that. I'll rotate it around. Here's a good leaf fanning outwards. There's another good one here, so I think I'll take it off just above that one. Taking the whole, and these vines, you can see they've started to twist around each other, and they'll do that. They'll twist around each other and eventually fuse together, creating a super trunk. And then I've got this tall one. This is kind of my leader, so I need to pick where I'm going to prune that. I think I'm going to go quite far back to here. So here I go, taking that whole top off. So that's got all the major vigorous vines pruned back, or vine-like growth. Now there is a bit of correction I can do in here. I'll show you a close-up. On this branch, you can see it's fanning outwards, and then I have some growth that's growing back in. I have one that's fanning outwards here, so I'm going to take off this inner growth totally. Like that. Prune it away. And I'm just looking for other places where there's growth going in the wrong direction. Not seeing any yet. I can take out any leaves that are crossing back and blocking out light from getting to the outer branches. I'll prune away. So here's one that crosses it. It starts here and crosses the whole tree, the center of the tree. So I can take that out to get more light into the interior here. This one too can come off. And I think that's it. Yeah. So that's got the Wisteria all pruned up. Here is a look at the Wisteria now, so it's ready to go back on the bench and resume growing. The next tree I'll be working on is my Burt Davii Ficus. So this grew in the plant room all winter, and as you can see, it has grown in a lot of aerial roots. And I didn't want any aerial roots on this tree. I want it to look like a African ficus growing in the plains where there's no aerial roots. So I'm going to have to trim all those off today. There's a lot of them, especially around the back here. They just grow everywhere. So that's where I'm going to start. I also want to spray the tree, make sure there's no scale insects on it or aphids or anything. I'm also going to prune the tree up. You can see this side of the tree is getting really long and vigorous, and this side not so much. And these branches in here are thickening up more than these ones, so I want to equalize the balance. So I'll let this side of the tree grow, and I'll kind of prune this side and suppress the growth on that side. I'm going to start the work by pruning away the aerial roots, so here I go. Yeah, if you ever want a ficus that you want to grow aerial roots on, these Burt Davii Ficus are fantastic trees for growing aerial roots. They just come out everywhere. This aerial root comes from way back in here, and it crosses the entire tree and then goes into the soil. Amazing. This one's getting really thick, holy. So that's coming off. It's also rooted into the soil. Okay. There's one here I can take off. There's one coming from the trunk down here. Oh, this branch has a lot of them growing off, so I'll cut all the aerial roots off this branch. Yeah, there's a real mess of aerial roots in here. Now, these ones have to come off. Here and here. Being careful not to cut my branches off. That one's a branch there. I notice there is some scale insects on the tree. I sprayed it once over the winter. There's definitely more. There's a big aerial root. One's being removed. Okay, now I've got to get these aerial roots off. Just cut them at the soil level, and they'll just rot away in the ground. There's one coming out at the base of the tree here that's really thick, and it's above the soil level, so I'm going to prune it away. This one right here, so here I go. That's underneath the pot there. I think there's roots growing out the drainage holes too. Getting there. There's a root. It comes from this branch, crosses the trunk line and goes down the front, so I'll get that. Those would eventually fuse with the trunk. They were already starting to fuse down at the bottom there. I had to pull the roots away from the trunk, and there was some resistance. Okay, I think that's got the aerial roots cleaned up on the tree. Don't think I've missed any. Okay, I think the next task, I'll take the line away, is to spray it with soap and water. So here I go. I have my soap and water right here. So here I go, soap and water time. So that's got the underside. Now I'll come above and spray the top of the leaves. Spray the soil, the pot, everything. Now let me just check and see if there's any roots growing out the bottom drainage holes. Just one here. I guess those are just aerial roots wrapped around. Okay, I'll let that sit a while. Okay, it is time to rinse the tree off now, so here I go. And then any scale blisters I notice, I'll pick them off by hand. The spraying with the soap and water kills all the insects that aren't mature. They're crawling around on the tree, and it'll kill all those. The ones that are protected in the blisters, it may not kill those, so I pick them off by hand. It does kill the small blisters, but the bigger ones seem to be protected a little better. I think if you sprayed regularly, your problems with scale would disappear. I just never seem to, I don't know, keep up with the spraying. And it's hard in my plant room. They're so crowded that you can't even see the trees hardly. So I'm going to have to thin the collection out for next winter. Okay, I think that's all rinsed off. It should be good. I'm going to begin the pruning now. So I think this branch, it's my kind of longest one. I've got a leaf on the bottom here, so I can kind of redirect it. So it's kind of angling downwards, so I'll prune just in front of that leaf. So here I go. Taking that off. This one's also getting long here. So you don't want long straight sections to your branches, so I want to keep it fairly compact, so I'm going to take it right back to here. Taking the tip off. This one's also getting too long, I'll take it back to here. Remove any dead leaves. Oh, there's another aerial root here. Oh no, it's a branch. Take that off, going straight down. There's a dead branch here I can take off. Stub here I can prune back. Just kind of cleaning up the structure. There's one sticking up here. I can prune it back. There's a shoot sticking up here. I'm going to prune it back to here. There's a branch sticking straight up here. I'll remove entirely. Another branch sticking straight up here I can take off. There's a branch going back in towards the center of the tree here I can remove totally. And there's a scale blister on here I can kill. Rub it off. This branch is kind of angling back in towards the tree, so hopefully I'll prune this tip off, redirecting it so it's flowing outwards. And I'll take the shoot off on the inside and let it grow and try and get it to fan out better. Dead branch here I can remove. Now, out the back here, I've got some long ones. Right here. So, I'll prune it back to here. This one can be pruned to here. This one to here. And there's one on the inside I can remove. It's pointing towards the inner part of the tree. A vertical one here I can remove. I've got a cluster of branches growing underneath this tree here. There's 1, 2, 3 branches in a row. I think my most flowing branch is this one, so I'll remove the other 2. So this one could come off. I'll just rough prune it first. And then I can clean that cut up. There's a bit of a knob on there. I think some aerial roots came out in that location also. Okay. There's a couple of vertical shoots here I can remove. Another one here. And one off of this branch. This one's too long. It needs to be pruned back. There's a dead branch here I can remove. Now, dead branch hanging down here I'll remove. A few dead branches here I can remove. There's one I hear growing in a weird place. Get rid of that, and I've got 2 branches, I'll keep the one. This one can be pruned back. Tip there. Vertical one here I can take off. So I'm just looking, here's a vertical one I can take off. Stub. Just looking at each branch and cleaning it up now. Tip off this one. Take this one on the inside out. Remove some dead leaves. Now there's one. This will maybe eventually be my upper leader. And there's one kind of growing straight forward over top of these branches. I'll remove that one. That. Yeah, once this thickens up, it'll look quite nice, I think. There's one growing back in towards the tree here. I can remove that one. this one too. This one's getting a little long and interfering with this branch, so I'll prune it back shorter. Vertical one here I can take off. One growing on the inside I can remove there. This one's growing on the inside. Now, so I'm just looking at the tree now. This side's definitely taller and more vigorous, so I may have to cut it back further. Remove this vertical shoot here. Tip prune this one. That one may have to come right off. I think it does. It's awkward looking. Doesn't flow. There's the remains of a root here that's dried up. This one is growing back across that branch. This one here. So that needs to come off. This one is interfering with the branch beside it, so I'll take that one off. Just cleaning everything up now. This one's going back in towards the center of the tree. I'll take it out. And I probably should take this branch off. Just keep this part of it, so I think I will. It's going kind of a strange direction. Now, can I get some height off of this branch? I can prune the vertical one off here. This one. This one. And then prune the tip back, but to where? I've got three choices here. I think I'll go to the lower one. Like that. I'll prune this part of this branch off. And these two branches are interfering with each other. To here, a bit of a Hail Mary cut there. Make sure it gets light. Now, this one is kind of sticking up and growing back in towards the center of the tree, so it comes off. I got a vertical one here I can remove. Take a little height off this one so I can remove the branch growing back in towards the center of the tree. Do some tip pruning here. Take this branch back to a shoot. Stub I can clean up. Better. This branch is kind of growing across over top of the lower part. I'm going to remove this branch, keeping my other ones. I'll tip prune this one. Stub. This one's kind of getting long and straight, so I can take the tip off it like that and prune this one back. look from the front again. Here's the front. I'd still like to take a bit of height off this branch, so I'll bring the tip off. This one's going backwards. These ones are going backwards. I'll actually take that whole tip off there. Redirect this one. Take tip off this one. This one I don't want. I can go give you more room for these branches, which I think I want, but maybe not. I got lots growing in this area. I should thin it out. Well, this one's not going in a good direction, so I'll take it off. I can take the tip off this one. And this vertical shoot can come off. And I can prune. Oh, that one's good. Take the tip off this one. And the tip off this one. It's helping. Got 2 branches from one spot here. I'm going to take the weaker one off and keep the other one. I'm going to take this stub off here. Prune that away. To prune this one. This one's going the wrong direction. This one's going straight up. Get rid of that. Dead branch here. Okay, let me look at the front again. It's looking better. It's a little more balanced now. Once it starts, flushing out, now that it's out in the greenhouse, it should get good light and it should start growing with quite a bit of vigor. The scar at the back here is still healing over, but it's healing over quite nicely. That was a huge scar. But it's closing over well. Stop here. I think I better take the tip off this one and keep this branch. Shorten it a bit. It was getting a bit too long and straight without any movement and taper. I'm going to take this branch off. I don't like it. Keeping the other part of it. This branch may get removed in the future, and this other lower one. Let me see from the front. Yeah, they're kind of weird. These 2 hanging branches, I'm taking them off. I want sort of an upright structure, and then the tips will start weeping down. These are 2. I don't want hanging branches. I want them to reach upwards and then arch downwards, creating an umbrella shape. a very wide umbrella shape if possible. Well, I think that's getting pretty close. There is one branch here that's getting very long. And it's not the best direction. I'll prune it off to here. That may come off in the future. You can see this whole branch is kind of a bit long and cylindrical looking. So yeah, there's some shoots back here, so maybe in the future I can reduce it back. I think that would look good. And should I do it now? Well, maybe. So here's that new branch leader I can have. I could prune it right back. Look from the front again. It is a bit of an awkward looking branch. Yeah, I think it has to be reduced. So I'll leave a bit of a stub. Here's the branch I want to develop, so here I go. Big cut coming up. Just like that. Well, that looks better from the front. It kind of shows the upright structure better. Yeah. I think that was a good pruning decision. Okay, I think that's got it for now. Dead branch. Yeah, there'll be more work coming to this tree in the future, but I think that's a good kind of early spring pruning. I'll remove all these dead leaves off the surface of the soil here too. I've got the landscape cleaned up on my Burt Davii Ficus. So let's fly in now and have a look at the tree. Before we go today, I'll give you an update to the apple tree. It's beginning to leaf out. Here's a look at the apple tree. It's getting its leaves in, looking good. Yeah, a very old, interesting tree. We had quite a few days of nice warm weather, but tonight it's going to 2 degrees above freezing. And later on it goes to -2, so 2 degrees below freezing. So I have a lot of trees out on the benches. I'm going to have to bring them into the greenhouse here and turn the heat on for those cold nights. In the daytime it gets up to a pleasant level. Yeah, not real warm, but enough that I can put the trees back outside. I was going to do a little more work on some of the other trees, but I think I better get all my trees packed away for the night. So that is all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.